Simon. We're going to be hearing from Tyson later probably, and Francis Ngannou today, because I think the two are getting together for this upcoming fight. What can we expect at this? I mean, many people are saying this is going to be an enormous meeting of two significant players in the fight game.
Well, that's right. They're both the best at their respective disciplines. So this is going to be an event opening the Riyadh Festival. It's called the Battle of the Baddest. As I've said to you from day one, it's going to be a mega event. This is going to have eyeballs from all around the globe watching it. And I think you can see something a little bit. I think it's for why it lasts. I think it's been very exciting. I don't expect Ngannou to outbox Tyson, but I know he's a tremendous puncher. I know he's a roughhouse. You only got to look him in UFC, and I've looked at quite a few of his fights in UFC. He's a tough guy, and the only way he can beat Tyson, in my opinion, is to knock Tyson out. So you know he's going to come throwing bombs, and we're going to need a strong referee in there to ensure that he doesn't do anything he shouldn't do under the boxing board. Under the rules of boxing.
I mean, with respect, Frank, we know he's probably not. Ngannou's not going to outpoint Tyson because he's not a boxer.
That's what I just said. That's my opinion. Well,
so one punch approach from Ngannou, is it?
It's not one punch. He's just going to throw bombs. He's going to have to put Tyson out of his stride. One thing's for sure: if he catches him, it hurt him. We know he's a massive puncher. I mean, he's in the Guinness Book of Records as throwing the hardest ever punch. So he is a big puncher. And as Daniel Dubois showed in the fight against Usyk a couple of weeks ago, big punch can change a fight dramatically. And he nearly did it if it weren't for the referee. So Tyson's got to be top of his game and watch out for this.
Are you on board with it, Simon?
No, not in the slightest. Frank knows I'm not. Ice to Eskimos there, Mr. Warren. Sand to the Arabs you're selling. You know what I think of this fight? A lot of old rubbish.
Well, it's not rubbish. It's two guys. It's two guys getting in the ring. You got listen. First of all, to get in the ring, you've got to have a bit of balls to get in the ring. Of course,
that's why he's a WBC champion of the world. We know that.
And that's why the other guy's the UFC champion. So they're both. It's not like Ngannou's never ever been in combat. That's what he does for a living. So I don't take anything for granted with that. I expect Tyson to win, as I said. But this will, whilst it lasts, I'm telling you, it will be exciting.
If you thought there was one scintilla of risk in Tyson Fury losing this fight, you wouldn't have stuck him in there. All it is, as you and I have discussed on numerous occasions, and are probably bored of hearing it from one another, it's just a bag of money fight. That's all it is.
Well, I am bored of hearing that, because the bottom line is Tyson gets in the ring.
You might be bored of hearing it, but it does happen to be true.
Every time Tyson gets in the ring, he gets in the ring for money because he's a professional boxer.
Yeah, but then I'd like to see him earn it at the level that he's at.
Every time you get up in the morning and go to work, you do it for money.
Of course. And I'd like to think that if I do it, I operate at the highest level, Frank.
Sorry?
I'd like to think if I do it, I operate at the highest level. And in this instance, this is not that.
I'm not going to dispute that with you.
Money for old rope is what it's called.
The fact of the matter is, it's a huge event, and as I said to you at the beginning, it will be a game changer, and that will all unfurl within the next 6 or 7 weeks. You'll see what's going to happen.
Actually, Frank, just before you go, John Fury, father of Tyson, is suggesting that Tyson might go into the octagon after this. Is that true?
I haven't spoke with him about that. If he does, he does, and I would advise him not to. I would say stick to what you do best. But look, that's something he may consider doing. One thing's for sure: whatever way you want to look at it with Ngannou, he's got some balls to actually step into the ring with Tyson, coming from the discipline he comes from, and at his best in his discipline, UFC, he's the governor.
Okay, Frank, thank you so much for joining us. Frank Warren, Tyson Fury's promoter, heading off to that press conference later today with Francis Ngannou and Tyson meeting up. Should be interesting.